Can't hear.
Is it ready? I'd like to call this Vance County Board of Commissioners June 1st, 2026 meeting to order. Right now, we're going to have our invocation by Pastor Joanne Evans, Divine Habitation Ministries. It is hard prayer. Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight with a grateful heart, acknowledging that every good and every perfect gift comes from you. We thank you for the opportunity to gather together this day. We invite your presence into the meeting and ask you that you guide every thought, every word, every decision in the name of Jesus. Yes. Grant this boy the wisdom. Yes. To learn what is right, courage to do what is just, and the humility to listen to every one another that they serve. That every decision be marked with integrity, unity, and sincere desire to serve the people entrusted to their care. Amen. Lord, bless the work of their hands. Yes. And the plans set before them as they seek to help the common good for the whole county and not just personal interest. Amen. Help them to act with fairness, compassion, and accountability. Make every decision produce outcomes that strengthen our community, uplift family, protect the needy, and create opportunity for future generations. Father, your word declares, any man lacks wisdom, let him ask God to give generously to all. That your wisdom, truth, righteousness, and peace prevail in all that they do. We commit this meeting into your hands in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Amen. 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 Thank you, Pastor Evans. Thank you so much. Before we begin, I want to remind everyone that this meeting is conducted in accordance with North Carolina law, including North Carolina General Status 143-318.10. The board welcomes public input and values hearing from our citizens. However, public comment is a privilege and that must be exercised in an orderly and respectful manner. Disruptive behavior, including shouting, personal attacks, profanity, refusing to yield the floor, or continuing to speak after the timer goes on will not be permitted. Individuals who violate these rules will be asked to leave so that the board can proceed with its business. North Carolina General Statutes 143-318.17, disruption of official meeting states that a person who willfully interrupts, disturbs, or disrupt an official meeting and who, upon being directed to leave the meeting by a presiding officer, willfully refuses to leave the meeting is guilty of a Class 2 misdemeanor. We ask for your cooperation in maintaining a respectful environment so that all voices may be heard and the county's work can be conducted efficiently. Thank you so much. Right now, we're going to open up our public comment. First, we have Bobby LaQuire. Please state your name and address as you come. And remember, it's 3 minutes, please.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. So I live less than a mile from the proposed data center
Can you give your
site.
name and address, please?
Oh, so sorry. My name is Bobby LaQuire. I live at 198 Sandstone Road, Henderson. So I live less than a mile from the proposed data center site. The data center will impact multiple established rural housing communities: Hunters Ridge, Carolina Pines, Westwood Hills, Watkins Community, Watkins Campground, Huntstone Subdivision, Farmers, Farmland, 2 churches, and much more. I am concerned about the massive amount of water that will be needed to cool the equipment. I'm concerned about what cooling methods the developer is proposing. I am concerned about the infrastructure and who will pay for it. I am concerned about the electricity needs of the data center and who will pay for it. I am concerned about where the infrastructure is going to be placed, whose land. Sorry. I feel strongly about it. I'm concerned about generator use and air pollution as well as water pollution. I'm concerned about the construction phase due to the negative impact the developer had on phase 3 of Huntstone. I am concerned about the traffic during construction. I'm concerned about the impact on our property values and our homes. I'm concerned about code violations and who will make the developer accountable. And I'm concerned about who will pay taxes and who won't. And is my time up? And so sorry. I am concerned about what will happen to our water and electricity needs. I am concerned about whose interests the developer supports. Thank you so much for your time, and I bless you, and thank you for your work.
Thank you. Next, Ann Rivera. Next, Ann Rivera. No, it's not working.
Hello, my name is Ann Rivera. I live off of Abbott Road. Thank you so much for y'all's time today. I understand that the agenda today is focusing at least partly on budget. Every meeting I've attended this year has had something related to the budget, whether it's a budget extension, a budget check, an update on some type of budget in any regard. And I can just simply say this, and I think I speak for a good amount of people in this room that are residents. If the person who's handling the budget can't handle their personal finances, I'm not sure if they should be in charge of our county budget. And I'm not sure if they should seek help and support from people who were in a county that already had major fiduciary problems. There are definitely other ways to help stabilize a budget, to increase tax revenue. History is actually a great example of this. So a lot of counties across the United States, especially North Carolina, like to focus and highlight history, their historical presence and preservation in their county and in their city. And of course, I think that Vance County should be doing that as well, especially if you're looking to stabilize a budget that you're in charge of, right, County Manager? So when we start talking about preservation of things and generating revenue, I do think that we should look into the history of Vance County and see how we can maybe preserve some of that. Because believe it or not, it does come with money. It does come with state-funded programs and grants. It also comes with jobs. It also comes with tourism. It comes with a lot of different things. So when it comes to budget, I definitely think history is a way to go. And there's also a lot of history in the areas that you just so haphazardly rezoned just 2 months ago. So there's a lot that can be done with things that are already in place. The environment is another area that we can tap into for revenue in order to stabilize our budget and to grow our budget. There's a lot of money that comes with protecting the environment. There's a lot of grants, there's a lot of services, there's a lot of things that we can generate revenue from. Like, I don't know, nature parks, preservations, wildlife sanctuaries. All of these things come with jobs. All of these things come with money. All of these things come with, but most importantly, long-term stability, long-term sustainability. And I've talked with a few of you on this board, and I know some of you are concerned with those things, and some of you are not. And I think that that's a problem, especially considering we're constantly talking about money. We need to find more sustainable ways to generate revenue rather than just simply selling off land. Now, that brings me to one of the most important issues, which is the fact that we did protest this last weekend, this past Saturday, to address some of the decisions that are made in this room and outside of this room regarding the budget. And of course, data centers always come up because that's one of the reasons we agreed to rezoning, right? We needed that tax revenue. So our demands include a moratorium on data centers until we possibly figure out other ways to generate revenue and to stabilize the budget. We would also like town halls, not district only town halls, but town halls for many of you here so we can get questions answered. Thank you.
Next, Sheila Newman.
My name is Sheila Newman. I live on Rock Mill Road in Henderson. My property backs up from Rock Mill Road to a property on Highway 39 South. of which I have for the past 4 years tried to stop a dirt bike track from being approved and before it got approved. It is being run without a permit and has infringed on me enjoying my own property that long. I'm here because all my 4 years, I feel I have been ignored with nothing being done to aggressively stop it and to prove 4 years of keeping up with who I talked to, who I called, what they said, and what I said. For 2 years, I have almost nonstop tried to help because this group of people have continued to operate as a business with probably 100 or more people, probably not 1,000 feet from my house. Drinking, gambling, not proper permitted, and if they were legal, would be breaking ordinances left and right. For the last week, I've experienced much anxiety having to hear on May the 18th, 12 hours of motors running and not being able to enjoy my own yard. Dust was flying on that hot, dry day after I'd washed and waxed the car, and it was just all over the car, 1,000 feet away. I'm upset after 4 years of this happening. January the 10th of 2023, I went to the city council with complaints after calling the sheriff out to my house. Nothing was done. Then I have been to code enforcement, alcohol enforcement, city manager with videos and pictures and notes, assistant city manager, DA's office to see about getting an injunction to stop it immediately, to no avail. Called State Senator Lisa Barnes. Secretary said she would call the city, and Lisa was out of town and didn't call back, and after the secretary said she would. I had a written request to zoning and planning for info on what's being done to stop it, no response. Planning committee, I was humiliated by code enforcement guy trying to stop me from speaking after he asked the board, did they want to vote on the agenda, so I couldn't speak. He didn't say so I couldn't, but he wanted to vote the agenda as was. And he had asked me in the beginning when I got there, what are you doing here? And I said, I thought this was public. I emailed the city attorney, no response. I've gotten in touch with environmental. I sent a letter, and they said they were going to send a letter for them to clean up the creek that runs by there, and they didn't. Is that time up? This is the problem. You can't tell what's really going on. Nobody gets to hear it. Everywhere I go, I run into a roadblock. But maybe sometime, some way.
Can you please get with the sheriff to see what, and get back with her and see what can be done?
I'm sorry.
We're gonna get, yeah.
Okay, thank you very
We
much.
hear you. All right, yes, we do. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I couldn't hear and I apologize. I wanted to know whether she was in the city limits or outside the city limits and whether she was in the ETJ or not.
She's in the ETJ.
She's in the ETJ. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. We're gonna see what we can get back to you, ma'am. Right now, we're gonna open up our public hearing concerning the 2026-27 budget. First on our list, we have a Dr. Cornelius Cathcart. The city public comments.
I spoke to her, and I told her I wanted to speak. Yes, ma'am, you speak.
No, first is Dr. Cornelius Cathcart. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cornelius Cathcart on 221 Waybostic Road in Henderson. And I have just a few points to bring up in reference to the data center and wanted to know if they were being addressed by the commission. First and foremost, data centers have a massive energy consumption with large amounts of noise and carbon emissions. I was wondering if the long-term healthcare issues that are being considered, especially to those residents in close proximity to the upcoming data center, if they are allowed. Data centers require a huge amount of land. And we're already seeing the wildlife in our area moving into the rural, from rural into the communities. We have black bears coming into the hospital area. And, so we have, issues with the wildlife being displaced. And the big issue, third issue, is, as we mentioned earlier, water usage.
Neil, can you pull the mic up a little bit for your height?
Sure. Data centers require a large amount of water, and we're already in a drought situation all across North Carolina. And I know that also right now, Vance County, Warren County, and Franklin County are vying for increased amounts of water in their areas. And if we're going to increase the amount of water to these areas, how's that going to affect future business and residential development in our counties? And the last thing that I wanted to bring up was that data centers are being discussed right now. There are bills being produced in our Senate that talks about limiting data centers in North Carolina. And if that's the case, why are we, moving forward the data centers here in Vance County and not waiting until the state decides what they propose for data centers? Those are my points to be discussed, and I would like to hear how it comes out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor.
Next is Kathy Ham.
Good afternoon.
Pull it down
Can
for
you pull
you.
the mic?
Okay.
Okay.
My name is Kathy Ham. My address is 692 Horseshoe Bend Road. My husband and I live 3/4 of a mile from the proposed data center site on Highway 158 Business. Vance Voices Against Data Centers has been working hard and researching as we fight against these data centers that we do not want near our homes. We have learned a lot in a few weeks, and what we have learned is very troubling. And transparency has been extremely lacking. However, I still want to take this opportunity to thank Ms. Valencia Perry, a member of the County Board of Commissioners, for hearing our concerns and standing with the people who stand to lose so much. We can't find anything good about data centers being located near homes, and this comes at the expense of the people. The only thing good that we have found is the tax revenue. There are many reasons why time is needed to get this right. What we are asking for now is time and a public forum to allow everyone involved to get the answers they need. I am requesting that a motion be made tonight by your board for a moratorium halting the development of data centers for at least 1 year. I am begging you, please, please just give us time. That's not too much to ask. It's the right thing to do, and I believe that in your own hearts, you know that that's true. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. George Baker.
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody that came here tonight to voice their opinion. My name is George Backer. I live in Watkins Community, exactly 1.6 miles from the proposed 158 Day Center. If I may digress, the April 7th meeting, with the exception of 2 people, everyone here was against the rezoning change to permit the data center. It was to be put to a vote. It was tabled for May 4th. Somehow it was voted about around the middle of April without no community approval. So here we are again, but this time knowledge, and we are prepared. Numerous towns around the counties, states, and government are having our voices heard. You're living in a free democracy, have God-given rights to be heard, not taken for granted. I can tell you personally what it's like to be put in a country where speaking is deadly. Was a planning board review done? Where is it? Do you follow Robert's rules of law? What have you done is questionable. Now we can make this nightmare go away. Head by George Soros, and George Soros just purchased Quantum Partners. Who are they? Well, they own and run, you guessed it, data centers, but not in Bedford, New York. Let's get down to business. We can sue State Court of Appeals and win. Town pays all legal fees. Grant, your taxes goes up, yeah, but who showed us really? Finally, counties all around us are in litigation over data centers. Let's take a smarter approach. I think that your elected officials do understand we are not happy and above all, not going away. So tonight, all of us vote for a 24-month moratorium so smarter heads prevail. Thank you again.
Michelle Duncan.
Thank you for the opportunity to comment on the budget. I'm disappointed that none of you can effectively say that you are working to support the teachers and the school staff in this county. 55% of Vance school workers signed a petition calling for the county to raise the classified supplement to 10% and the teacher supplement to $5,000. My guess is that your excuse is that the state is going to give raises. Well, that may be true. That doesn't help with the fact that teachers and staff can literally drive 10 to 15 minutes away to cross a county line and get a better deal. Vance spends $1,012 less per student than Granville. Warren and Franklin counties also spend more per student. Our students, citizens, and administrators deserve to be able to attract and retain quality teachers and staff in this county. For the second year in a row, the school superintendent has supported and requested the full funding of the local supplement at 10% for classified employees and $5,000 for certified staff. The county manager seeks to keep our county behind others in our area. In her budget proposal, she did not allow for any new funding for anything related to the schools for teacher or staff. I see after the budget work session that there is no amendment to increase the school funding for what the county manager proposed. You commissioners have made it clear that school staffing is not a priority. I will make it my priority to campaign for new commissioners who will make school funding their priority. Thank you.
Sally Ann Hobson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sally Ann Marable Hobson, and I live at 122 Carriage Hill Drive in Stem, North Carolina. I'm from Granville County. I am here to express my disappointment in the way the data center process has been expressed to the Vance County community. I am not a resident, as I said, but I am speaking for family members who cannot speak for themselves. The memory of my ancestors, Isabella Marable Hart, born June 1865, and her husband, James Mangrum Hart, born 1857, both buried at Mount Moriah AME Zion Church, have been utterly disrespected in this process. At this point, I have no confidence in this governing body's ability to ensure fairness and transparency. and I pray that this will be remedied. I respectfully request this body stops the gaslighting now. Thank you.
Sheila Newman. Sharita Jones.
My name is Sharita Jones. I reside at 804 Eastway Drive, Henderson, North Carolina. Good evening, Chair, Commissioners, educators, parents, and community members. As I've stated, my name is Sharita Jones, and I serve as the president of the Vance County Association of Educators, as well as an assistant principal in Vance County Schools. I stand before you this evening to ask that you fully fund the budget request submitted by Vance County Schools. The county's proposed budget leaves a gap of more than $4.3 million. That is not just a number on a spreadsheet. Those dollars represent people, programs, services, and opportunities that directly impact the children of Vance County. Over the past couple months, myself, educators, our superintendent, and the finance director have stood before you and clearly explained the district's needs. We have provided some data, the financial realities, and the justification for every dollar requested. We have demonstrated that these funds are not wants, they are needs. The district has done its part by presenting a responsible budget that reflects the resources necessary to educate our students and support our employees. As educators, we know that student success begins with having highly qualified, dedicated professionals in every classroom, every school. Yet we continue to face challenges recruiting and retaining teachers, teacher assistants, bus drivers, custodians, child nutrition workers, and other essential staff. This is why VCAE launched our Unfinished Business campaign. Last year, we made progress with the local supplement for certified staff, increasing it from 2,500 to 3,000, and classified staff received a 2% increase. We were grateful for that investment, but it is clear that our work was not finished. Our goal remains the same, making Vance County a destination district where educators choose to come, stay, and build their careers. When educators leave, students lose relationships, schools lose stability, and districts spend valuable resources recruiting and training replacements. Investing in competitive supplements for both certified and classified staff is not simply an employee benefit, it is a student achievement strategy. This evening, I ask you to view the education funding not as an expense, but as an investment in our children, an investment in our workforce, and an investment in the future economic growth and success of Vance County Schools. Now we ask you to ask, please fully fund the Vance County Schools budget request and help us finish the unfinished business of attracting, retaining, and supporting the educators who serve our students every day. Thank you for your time, service, and consideration.
Natural Bass Terry. Hope this is right. Natural Bass.
Good evening. Altravis Terry, 716 South Garnett Street, Henderson. Good evening, board and citizens of Vance County. I'm standing here tonight on behalf of the Vance County Association of Educators. I'm a proud teacher at E.M. Rollins School and a proud member of NCAE. This is our unfinished business campaign, as you heard from Ms. Jones. Tonight, you all are set to vote on a budget for the upcoming year. And as educators, staff, parents, and community members, we have been watching closely at what this county is choosing to do and how they're choosing to place their financial priorities. And we're deeply disappointed to see that this proposed budget allocates zero or new or increased funds for recruiting and retaining the quality staff that our students desperately need. Every day, our certified teachers and our dedicated classified staff work very tirelessly to keep Vance County schools running. Yet we're facing this ongoing crisis to keep qualified people in our classrooms, in our cafeterias, and on our school buses. The school board recognized this urgency, and they backed our request for the necessary funding to address these gaps. They understood that you cannot have a thriving school system without investing, keyword here, investing in the people who make it work. Unfortunately, this Board of Commissioners has chosen a different path. You've prioritized spending in other areas, treating education as an afterthought rather than the foundation of our community's future. By flat funding educator and staff recruitment, you're leaving our schools understaffed and our students underserved. And I'm speaking from full experience here. This budget does not fulfill our request, and it does not fulfill your obligation to the children of Vance County. We are here tonight to let you know that our work is not done and this campaign is not stopping. Investing in public education is a choice. If this board chooses to ignore the needs of our educators and students tonight, please know that the community is watching and they're paying close attention. We will continue to show up, we will continue to advocate, and we will make our presence felt at the polls in November. Thank you for your time.
Kelly Wade Purdue.
Good evening. I'm Kelly Wade Purdue, address 257 Pine Ridge Road, Henderson, North Carolina. Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners, County Manager, and County staff. The purpose of these comments are to encourage consideration of a formal professionalism and conduct policy for all individuals participating in Vance County public meetings, including elected officials, appointed officials, and paid county employees. Public meetings are where the people's business is conducted. They are funded by the taxpayers and serve as one of the most visible demonstrations of local government in action. Citizens attend these meetings expecting thoughtful discussion, professional conduct, and a governing body that remains focused on the issues affecting Vance County. Professionalism is not simply about appearance. It's reflected in how public officials and employees communicate, engage with one another, and conduct themselves throughout the meeting. It includes being prepared, remaining attentive, listening respectfully, and avoiding unnecessary distractions while county business is being conducted. Citizens should never question whether those entrusted with public responsibilities are fully engaged in the matters before them. Whether it involves cell phone usage, side conversations, dismissive behavior, or a lack of decorum, actions that distract from public business can undermine confidence in local government. The standards should be the same for everyone representing Vance County. Elected officials and paid county employees alike have a responsibility to model the professionalism, respect, and accountability that citizens expect and deserve. Therefore, consideration should be given to adopting a formal policy that establishes clear expectations for conduct during public meetings. Such a policy would help ensure consistency, reinforce accountability, and strengthen public trust in county government. The citizens of Vance County deserve a government that not only makes sound decisions, but also demonstrates professionalism and respect throughout the decision-making process. Professionalism is not an option in public service, it is an obligation. Thank you for your time and consideration, and I appreciate your services to the citizens of Vance County.
Larry Higley.
Good evening. My name's Larry Higley. I have my homeowner in Stratford Hills at 332 East Stratford Drive. I was attending a rally Saturday protesting this establishment of a data center. And the lady that spoke, I asked her if she would mind if I read this speech. And I'd like to read it to you. She said, "Good morning, afternoon, everyone. My name is Christine Somerville, and I'm a concerned citizen of Vance County. I want to start today with the basic facts about data centers and what they are. Data centers are large industrial buildings that store, process, and share digital information. They support cloud storage, artificial intelligence, streaming services, banking systems, government records, social media platforms, and much of the internet that people use every day. These facilities operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to run continuously without interruption. They require large amounts of electricity, land, water, cooling equipment, and backup power up systems. Supporters often promote data centers as economic development projects because they can increase tax revenue and create temporary construction jobs while they are being built. However, once construction is complete, most data centers employ very few permanent workers compared to their size and the amount of resources they use. Many of their daily operations are automated. Another important fact is that the data center industry is growing rapidly because of artificial intelligence and the increasing demand for digital storage. Across the country, larger and larger facilities are being built to meet those growing technology needs. Now that we understand what data centers are, we also need to talk about the challenges communities across the country are beginning to face because of them. One of the biggest concerns is water use. Data centers need large cooling systems to keep servers and equipment from overheating. Many facilities use millions of gallons of water every day to maintain safe temperatures. As more data centers are built, water consumption continues to rise. This affects everyone. In cities and counties that rely on public water systems, large industrial water use can put additional pressure on local infrastructure and treatment facilities. Over time, residents may face higher utility bills, water shortages during droughts, or added strain on systems that were never designed to support the level of industrial demand. This can also affect groundwater and private wells. Heavy water withdrawals can lower groundwater levels over time, causing wells to weaken or even run dry. If contamination reaches the ground, harmful substances can enter groundwater systems that families depend on every day. This issue becomes even more important when we look at our regional water supply. Several counties rely on Carr Lake as a major source of water. Carr Lake also serves as a reservoir connected to Lake Gaston. Together, these water systems support entire communities, and there are limits to how much water can safely be taken from them. Water is a shared resource, and heavy use in one area can affect surrounding communities as well. Another concern is air quality. Most large data centers depend on massive diesel backup generators to keep operations running during power outages. These are not small generators. They are industrial scale systems that must be tested regularly and maintained throughout the year. I only got a few more minutes to go. Maybe another 30 seconds, then I could finish this. Can I have your grace to do that?
No. Are there any more public comments?
Hello, my name is Barbara Richards. I live at 463 Powell Street. I'm here because of the doors at the library and the police department. The handicap button does not work. I have been to Perry Library and the Henderson Police Department many times where the handicap push button on the exterior doors of the library and the police department is not working to open the doors. The interior doors of the library have no push button for the elderly or people with disabilities. These doors are heavy and it's hard to pull open. The Americans with Disability Act of 1990, which George H.W. Bush signed into law, says all private and public facilities must make accommodations for people with disabilities. It is ADA 42 USC.S 12101. Our elderly citizens, veterans with disability, like our wounded warriors, deserve better. The mayor of Henderson had a mental health workshop at the library last week. I went to it. Handicap push button was still not working. A week ago, 2 weeks ago, I talked to the library director, Patty, and she told me the McGrew Hall people is responsible for the doors. I spoke to the people at McGrew Hall, left a message, have not gotten any more response. The disability button still does not work. Our Vance County citizens who have lost a foot, leg, and fingers to diabetes or other reasons deserve better. My community watch group meet at the library or the police department. I have members in my community watch group, elderly, that suffer from arthritis, and it is difficult for them to push those doors open without the disability button working. Is this the best our Vance County commissioners and our city council can do with the taxpayers' money? We deserve better.
County manager? County manager, can I speak?
Person that's in charge of giving the person. You did email. Okay, thank you so much.
Carla, Chairman, may I speak about what they're talking about? They were talking about moratorium. Could I ask the board if they would think about researching about a moratorium? That's just an ask. So evidently they ain't going nowhere.
Madam Chair, I would recommend that you all research the discussion at your next work session. So we can research, we have a discussion about researching moratoriums at your next work session. Yes, ma'am.
Madam Chairman, can I also say something? Most of you knew when you first started talking about data centers, I had a concern about data centers and the issue. When we approved the zoning for that Triangle North, it was to approve it so that development could take place, not necessarily a data center. If by any chance we could find a business that would come in ahead of the research is being done. I don't think there's nothing on the table for a data center as such, but the area it was rezoned for economic development. It was rezoned, listen to me, listen to me. It was rezoned for economic development. I think they have to make a request in terms of for a data center to come. But I want to share something with you in terms of data centers for this community, you all. I've been here all my life. A lot of you've come in terms of the last 30 years. Cathcart, you came 30 years ago and everything. Unfortunately, in terms of looking for revenue for this area, we have lost 8 major industries that contribute to the property tax we've lost. Harry Henderson, Roses, AmeriCal, Facet, recently Carolina Snacks and Mars. Those things that we got revenue from are gone. In terms of trying to attract industry to the area, we're having a hard time as a community in terms of trying to attract industry to the area. Mars is leaving, which is the biggest use of our water source in Vance County. Mars also contribute to this community over $700,000 in revenue for the county. So we're looking for a county that industries are leaving. The folks at Mars, I was at a meeting the other day, the folks at Mars, 150 people that lost their jobs, believe it or not, through NC work have helped those individuals find work. Would you believe not a single job in terms of they're going to Cary, Granville County, and Franklin County in terms of those 150 people that have lost their jobs. So revenue for this county, we only get 72 million. We only have $72 million, $72 million, and our source of revenue for this county is dwindling. It's dwindling, and there are things about data centers that I don't like. You look at areas that are putting moratoriums on data centers, like in Raleigh, Durham. They already got 4 and 5. They're getting millions of dollars of tax return for their budget, so they can stop it. They can put a moratorium, but this county does not have the revenue. So if we can attract and get industry to the area, then if we can help that Triangle North grow in terms of industry. It doesn't have to be a data center, but we've got to figure out some way to bring revenue to the area in terms of our economic development person. When the state, we just can't get industry. When the state looks at getting industry, when they send our RFPs, when they send out the RFPs, Vance County has to look at, has to check off 50 of them because we don't have what they're looking for. The state determines what's going to come to an area, whether we like it or not and everything in terms of growth. So, you know, there are things that are working against us in terms of county and everything. So we've got to figure out a way to make Triangle North grow. It doesn't have to be a data center. I'd be the first to admit it. We could get something else besides a data center. Besides a data center, we can grow the area. But when you've lost 8 major industries for this area, the revenue disappears. And the other thing I want to address for the teachers in terms of Vance County, I've worked with the county manager in terms of looking at the budget. $72 million doesn't go far, folks, in terms of doing. Out of that $72 million, except for social services, 17.8% of it goes to Department of Social Service. The public schools gets 15% of our budget, or $72 million, $11.3 million. That's what the public school get. In order to fund you, and Chairman Fames and I both being in education, we think teachers deserve it. We've been in the trenches in terms of working, but in order to fund what you're requesting requires an 8-cent tax increase. In order to fully fund you, it requires an 8-cent tax increase. If the public wants to give it to you, ask the public, do you want to fund 8-cent more tax on your property tax? If you do, for education, we'll give it to you. We don't have any problems against in terms of teachers. But then at the same time, you all, in terms of listening, in terms of industry and everything, when we look at trying to grow, the state has already told us that we have to depopulate our jail. 90 people and everything. We have to depopulate jail. Jail costs $55 million. $55 million. Okay. Then we recently told we've got to have a 300-bed jail, $70 million. If we do that in terms, we have no choice in terms of county. We do it. That's another 8-cent tax increase, property tax, in order to meet the needs. We spend $2 million of your tax money every year transporting people from Manio to Murphy because the state has told us we have to depopulate the prison, depopulate our jail. So we can only house 40 people. So, you know, the county manager and I and commission be glad to sit down and talk to you. Help us find alternatives to solving the problem in terms of Vance County. We can, you know, let's work together to do it and everything. If you don't want a data center, help us find an industry. Help us find an industry to do it. Huh? Help us find an industry. Help us find an industry that's going to come and bring the kind of revenue.
Madam Chair.
Franklin County wound up having 31 cents.
I'm going to open this. Is there anyone else for public comments? I mean, for public hearing?
On the budget.
On the budget, on the budget.
Can we speak without having given notice ahead of time?
Yes, that's what I said. Is there anyone else on the public here, for the budget? It's for budget. This is for the budget. This is for the budget. For the budget. It gotta be for the budget. That's what we're talking about, the budget.
She's asking if you're here to speak about the budget.
The budget.
Pardon me? She's here asking if you want to speak about our budget.
The budget.
I think about everything I would say ultimately might have some effect on the budget. And so why don't you wait till I say something? And then if you want to kick me out of here, then you can do that if you don't think it has anything to do with our budget.
We're not trying to kick it. It's for the budget. Yes, that's fair enough, sir. It's for the budget.
Well, let me ask you this. Can I say something that would augment what you've just been talking about that was brought up here before all of us, these people, for them to consider? If it was not something that should have been brought up because it didn't have something to do with the budget, why did you allow it to come up to make all these people interested in saying something about it, including me? Why, since you brought something before this public, why we cannot ask a question about what was brought up before us?
I believe the commissioner was just making a statement to what was being said, sir.
Pardon?
He was making a statement to what some of the public hearing things that we heard
And
concerning
in
the budget.
response to that statement, I would have a response
sir.
to
Your
something
time
that I
is
think
running.
the people here
Your time
want
is
to
running,
hear
sir.
about.
Your time is running.
All right.
Name and address. Your
My name is Lee Faulkner, 201 Country Club Drive. What I mainly want to say is that I appreciate what Mr. Leo Kelly has just said. What he did was attempt to explain to the people here why the board felt like it was necessary to go do what they did the last time I was here. It was a kind of, I'll have to say that it was a shameful display, and I'll tell you why I think so. It was shameful because it appeared that the previous meeting, you might not have the support to do what some of you wanted to do, and so you called it off and had another meeting and said, we're not going to hear any kind of public comment. We're just going to vote. All these people showed up, and there was a vote that was completely contrary to what we were expecting. A problem with all of that is Mr. Kelly has attempted to explain why he felt like what the board has decided to do was necessary. The problem is it was a surprise to most of us people here. It was not something that the board or the county had prepared the people for. If you had said all these things about how it was absolutely necessary, and if it was good for the county, instead of just coming in here and wham, bam, and then get out of here, you folks, it might have been something people could take a little bit better than they have taken it so far. I appreciate what you say, Mr. Kelly. I would love, I would appreciate if the board had given us people and this county the opportunity to discuss these matters and to be aware of these matters so that we could decide and whether or not we actually supported it. We would have appreciated it if after giving us a chance to let you know how we felt about this, then you would have considered our thoughts about it and voted in compliance with what we want and what's necessary for our people. And so I don't think you did very well here in the last month or so. I don't know how you've done in the last 8 or 10 years. Thank you.
My name is Corliss Williams, and I live at 241 Oak Hill Street. I'm going to speak directly on this. This is when you look at the budget, you're talking about a budget, okay? And we have not had an opportunity to get all of the facts for how much it is going to cost us to have a data center here. You haven't given us any infrastructure capacity reports. You haven't given us any public health assessments, any independent economic cost benefits and analysis. You haven't given us anything to find out if if this data center is going to bring any revenue into Vance County, or if it's just going to take and take and take as a consumer. You speak of jobs, it's a temporary job. Once they build it, then for that massive building that they're going to build, then let me tell you, they only employ 30 to 100 permanent workers, right? They divide them in half, 40 to 10 data center technicians. You have 5 to 20 facility engineers. You have 3 to 10 electrician specialists. You have 3 to 10 HVAC technicians, 3 to 15 network engineers, and 10 to 30 security personnel, and a small number of managers and administrators. Now you think about the massive building that is, and you have that small number of people that's going to run that building. Then you think about those batteries and all of the runoff. The highest injury rate is electrical spark, those shark, when the things arc and things, those are injuries, and it's underreported, but yet those are injuries and high injuries on top of that. Then you have our water pollution. What happens to our habitat over there? What happened to the wildlife and everything that's over there? When you have all of that going on, you kill the wildlife. Where are they going? You have pollinators. That goes to our farming. What happens then? We're growing food. We don't have enough food in Vance County. We don't have enough jobs in Vance County. Are you going to put money into funding so that people can be educated enough to run a data center? What are you going to bring back into the county as you're pushing things out? You're going to run the residents out. It's going to turn into marshland. You have the battery run. You have all the water that you use. 200 and something thousand, no, 2 billion gallons of water. And that was in 2023. Can Vance County support that? No, we cannot. When we are at our drought and at our drought season right now, we've been told to run our water low. Don't water our grass and do all these things. If we can't do those things right now, what are we going to do when the data center get here? Who's going to truck in water for us just to drink and bathe and feed our kids? Who's going to do those things for us? So when you're making the decision about the budget, let's really look at the budget and let's really see how it's going to benefit us. Because without us, who's going to be here? You're going to dry out everything. How are we going to live? How will we live here? You're pushing us out. I am a transplant to Henderson, North Carolina, but you're pushing us out. Okay?
I'm Lindsay Ramsey, 224 White Oak Drive. I understand the county employees deserve fair compensation, and I support efforts to provide living wage increases for county workers. However, I'm struggling to understand why DSS employees, detention staff, and county administration are receiving a 3% living wage increase while our school system continues to face critical staffing shortages and inadequate local support. We are on the verge of losing many of our international teachers, educators who have stepped in to fill vacancies when local candidates were unable to or unavailable. We lose them, the impact will be felt directly in our classrooms and by the students who depend on them every day. Our children are the future of Vance County. Every decision we make today will shape the opportunities available to them tomorrow. While public safety is important, I question why the county's focus appears to be centered on building a new jail when we already have vacant county-owned properties such as Carver and New Hope Elementary School buildings. They could potentially be repurposed for county needs. At a time when our schools are struggling to recruit and retain qualified teachers, maintain aging facilities, and provide students with resources they deserve, invest millions of dollars into a new detention facility sends the wrong message about our priorities. If we can, oh Lord. If we can find funding for a new jail and living wage increase for some county departments, we should also be able to find funding to support the educators and school employees who prepare the next generation of citizens, workers, and leaders. I ask this board to carefully consider whether our current spending priorities reflect the future we want for Vance County. Investing in education is not an expense. It is an investment in economic growth, public safety, and community success. I don't want education to be a pipeline to the justice system because I am getting my law degree. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Is there any more comments on public hearing, budget? If not, public hearing is closed. Next on our agenda. We had on the recommendation what we was going to talk about at our next.
Yeah, the recommendation is to discuss and do research for moratorium at your next work session.
Madam Chair, what's next on our agenda?
Next on our appointment is Frankie Noble, Special Project Coordinator, Employee of the Month recognition.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
I'm happy to be here this month to present our Employee of the Month. This member comes from our DSS department, and this is what her peers had to say about her. Teamwork, because she supports her team members by sharing knowledge, offering help, and stepping in when needed, especially as the PLA application and seeing clients answering the phone. Initiative, takes the lead on task and follows through with minimum supervision. Attendance, she maintains a consistent and reliable attendance and arrives on time and is dependable. Above and beyond, she goes the extra mile to ensure clients, co-workers, supervisors receive high-quality support. If it takes coming in early or leaving late to complete the task, she will. How this employee has assisted with providing services to the public. Helps clients complete required forms or application, providing guidance to ensure information accurate and complete. Our Employee of the Month this month is Paula Pittman with Adult Medicaid and DSS. We'll have her and Miss Ebony come up, please.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm standing in for Cassandra Hart. She couldn't be here tonight, so I will read what she had for Miss Paula Pittman. Paula has excellent knowledge of adult Medicaid and is an asset to the agency. She continues to assist with recertifications and applications while learning an additional program. She is always willing to accept additional tasks while maintaining a positive attitude. Paula takes pride in her work, and she completes her casework accurately and timely. Paula is a great worker, and DSS is lucky to have her. And I'll just say, as her program administrator, Paula is very, very smart, always on time, always assisting our elderly community. So she deserves this award this month.
Thank you again for all that you do. Next appointment is Christy Stanley, Marketing Manager, the Vance County Regional Farmer Market.
Hello, everybody. I am so excited to be here. My name is Christy Stanley. I'm the new market manager at the Vance County Regional Farmers Market, and we have kicked off a very exciting year. You know, Randy Travis is a country music singer who had a song that said, if you see what's wrong and you try to make it right, you can be a point of light. And I will say that the Vance County Regional Farmers Market is a point of light in our community. If you have not yet been, I invite you to come visit us. It is a totally different atmosphere at the market this year. When you come in, you're going to hear the music playing. You're going to feel the sense of community. You're going to connect with your local farmer. You're going to see beautiful artists and craftsmen there. You're going to see children and people of all ages. You're going to see a lot of diversity and inclusion at this year's market. Every month, we have a special live music event, and it has brought a lot of interest to the market. We have done some creative things because we've seen that our budget was somehow lacking to do the things that we wanted to do. But we are not the ones to sit and let that stand in our way. So we have brought in a coffee bar. At our coffee bar, we have our own brand of coffee that is locally roasted, and it is as close as you can get to locally sourced as you can have for coffee. And not only is it locally sourced, it is also branded with our logo. So when you come visit the market, you can take home a bag of locally roasted Vance County Regional Farmers Market coffee with you or give it as a gift. I think another way that we can brand and market what we've got going on that is positive here in Vance County. Now, I would like to say that I have just been so impressed with our farmers. They get up early and work hard every day to bring in great produce. And I would really love to see people from the community getting involved with what we've got going on there. Another way that we have increased our ability to provide live entertainment and educational experiences at the farmers market is through sponsorship. It connects us with local businesses in the community. Not only does it help fund the programs that we would like to have to service the community, but it also levels up our marketing. So we are now connected with local businesses that are also spreading the word about the market. So a business that does a video with us will have 10,000 views within a 24-hour period. We have upped our social media presence at the market, and a social media post like our one on our Spring Fling event with had 7,000 views within 24 hours. We had record numbers at our Spring Fling, and all the vendors have been very happy. They're making more money, and of course, they're seeing people coming in that they've never seen at the market before. Another great thing about the market that many people don't realize is thanks a lot to the work of the extension office, we have a lot of grant money that has come into our program. So this year, we've never had WIC before. WIC is Women, Infant, and Children program. We will have WIC at the farmers market this year. If you have SNAP or EBT benefits, we will be accepting those at the farmers market. We have senior voucher program, so our seniors can have local nutritious food. We also have Sunbucks and an Eat the Rainbow program. And with the Eat the Rainbow program, any child can walk into our door and receive $5 to go shopping for their own produce. And if they get all the colors of the rainbow, they get a prize. And this is going to encourage children to eat healthy because they've not only connected with the farmer, but they've also done their own shopping. It's been a successful program. Now, for all our programs that we have this year, thanks largely to Dr. Wakia Macon at the Extension Office, we have received grants that are allowing us to double buck that money. So when you come to the farmer's market and you have SNAP or EBT, we can actually match the amount of money that you're purchasing. Say you have $50 on your EBT, you can get up to $50 worth of grant money towards your grocery bill. So where there might have been an expense, because it is more expensive for a local farmer to produce some of these products, we can offset that cost. And now we can compete with big box stores there at the local community, local farmers market. So we have something for everybody at the market, and we really want to encourage everyone to come. I have sent over a list of events, and our events are impressive. I will say we have one coming up here in June, and that next one is, I believe, June 13th. And so we're going to have Hispanic Heritage Day. On Hispanic Heritage Day, we'll have a mariachi band. We will have a SoCal band, and we will have Colombian dancers. We'll have a variety of food trucks and a lot of new vendors coming in. So you're going to have the opportunity to experience a lot of the culture that we have here in Vance County. We have the next month, of course, it is America 250. And so one of the wonderful things that we're able to do by hosting these events is also support the vendors in our program. So all of our bakers will be baking a birthday cake for America. And you will be able to come to the farmer's market and have a free piece of cake and try it out and see which baker you like best. And that's all going to be sponsored by our sponsorship money. So we're really got some exciting things happening. We'll have live music and a cornhole tournament for that event. We'll have a reggae day. We're also going to have Misty Mayhem, who's going to the CMA Awards, and she will be playing in August. Her husband is a celebrity chef, and he will be doing a cooking class for us. And she was professionally trained by Bo Diddley, who has written a lot of popular songs you hear on the radio today. So it is really going to be an exciting time to come out. One of the things we are implementing this year is the Blue Ribbon Fair. So this is something I hope we can have continue year after year. We will be able to have participants enter their baked goods, their best pumpkins, and we'll have a pageant associated with that. And it's just going to be something that's all around a lot of fun for us to do at the farmer's market. We've had some wonderful, we're literally at the point where I don't have to solicit sponsors, sponsors come to us. So that just tells you something exciting is happening there. We currently have a raffle going on, and if you come to the farmer's market, and this is through wonderful sponsorship, if you come out to the farmer's market, you can enter to win a very, very nice Weber grill. And that will be given away at the America 250 birthday party in July. So again, I would invite any of you to come out and check out what we go on. Starting this coming week on Wednesdays, we will be open. So Wednesdays and Saturdays, 8 to 1. Our special events will be open 8 to 2. And Wednesdays, we will be doing a lot of educational programs with children. We will have the bookmobile come twice a month. So I definitely want y'all all to come out and check it out. For those of you who've already been, thank you so much for supporting us. And again, I invite you all to come and see. I promise you, the minute you walk in the door, you're going to be so happy.
Miss Christie, I just want to say thank you for what you're doing. I had the opportunity to be at our most recent board meeting with you, and the ideas and that you're bringing and the new spin that you're putting on the farmers market is phenomenal. So thank you so much for what you're bringing to our county.
Thank you. It is, I see there's a wonderful vendors there. There's amazing farmers there. It is a place to draw in tourism. I think it's a point of tourism that would bring people from outside of the county. We've already had new vendors coming from outside of the county that want to participate because they are so impressed by the facility. If you have not been to the Vance County Farmers Market, it's 210 South Park Drive. It is one of the nicest farmers market facilities you will find in any surrounding county. I promise you. Exciting things are happening there. We got more things on the horizon.
Ms. Stanley, you're doing a lot of amazing things. So I want to make sure we get the time right. Wednesday from 8 to 1, events to 2, and Saturdays, right, from 8
to 1.
Okay. So
But
we
I'm
make
there
sure
way
everybody hear
earlier
that
than
time.
that.
Make sure they hear the time because you're doing
Yes.
such.
8 to 1. Get on our Facebook page. We're constantly posting what we've got going on, and that is the best way to see what's coming up next.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on our appointment is Mosley and Bardak, new detention center cost increase. Mosley and Bardak.
Hey, good evening. What's that? Push the button. All right. Good evening, commissioners.
Good evening.
I'm Chris Small with Bordeaux Construction. Oh, thank you. That button. Sorry. All right. Go ahead, Jeff.
Jeff Acker with Mosley.
So a little background of kind of where we're coming from and how we got to this point. So RFQ was solicited in 2023. There was a needs-based assessment done on the current detention the current detention that we're actually doing the renovation on. That detention was in disrepair. There had been DHSR inspections that had not passed. And so we came in to work on two things. One was getting the current detention center back up to standards to increase the capacity that the DHSR, which is the governing body over detention centers, had limited the capacity. So we're coming in and we're putting in new camera systems and locks and things like that so that the county can stop sending inmates out of county and paying that cost. The other thing we came in to do was design and build a new detention facility. The needs-based assessment done in 2023 determined that the capacity needed was 240 to 300, or excuse me, 400 beds. So we started that process. The budget was laid out at 50 million. So right now in the process, we are very early in the design process. Through the design process, you'll have a schematic design, a design development, construction, and then at that point, we would bid the packages out, the actual work, and determine the final price for the project. So we're before the schematic design phase currently. So this is very early in the process, but we're going ahead and working with the county managers and as well as Sheriff Bram and Captain Washington to determine the needs of the facility. Let's see. So when we started out, the ask was for a 300-bed facility. That's what's shown here on the drawings. Mosley designed that, which is a pretty standard design now, this layout. That came out at 76,190 square feet. When we priced this option, the total all-in cost came out to 67 million is what the projected construction cost would be. So we worked with the county and we had a design for 190 beds that was closer to that 50 million target budget. That budget being the USDA loan that Vance County was pursuing. After meeting with the sheriff, the captain, and the county managers, it was determined that we need to still pursue a 300 bed or close to 300 bed capacity detention center. Mosley went back to their design. Do you want to talk through the changes, Jeff?
Sure. So a few of the things that we did when we were trying to hit our target of the 300 bed and reduce the cost as much as we could was we changed the sally port from a hard-walled CMU masonry veneer sally port to secure fencing. That removed about 2,000 to 3,000 conditioned square feet from the project. The north housing unit, if we go back to the layout here, the north wings, we reduced the capacity of those wings, and we also introduced do you have the layout of the new jail?
Yeah, it's 2 slides forward.
We changed one of the housing units, the yellow in the north, to an open bunk dorm room for females. That removed a lot of the closed cells, which reduced the cost even more. But by doing that, we expanded the east and the west wings to add a few cells on that so we could hit our 300 bed capacity. I believe those were the highlights of. We also reduced the size of the kitchen to hit our 400 bed core target.
And so to explain that 400 bed core, that means that the jail is expandable. It can be built on too, but the kitchen and common areas are sized to get up to 400 beds to provide future capacity if needed. So those changes took the design from 76,000 square feet down to 72,000 square feet and actually increased the capacity. As Jeff mentioned, the north women's detention area is not cells. There are 2 cells in that area, but the rest are open bunk areas. And then the sally port down on the bottom, that is where people get brought into the facility to get processed in. We took down the hard veneer off that, and that's chained right now, a chain link fence, but covered. So after that exercise, we were able to get the price down to 71 million. 64 million is the construction cost. The delta between those two numbers are things like design fees, fixtures, furniture, equipment, things that the county would provide for the facility themselves. A few notes on that. So this is very early in design still. We are currently both working on a project for Halifax Detention Center. It is in the CD, which is in the final stages of design. So we're getting a lot of good market data from that project. We also looked back at Duplin Detention Facility that we last priced with Mosley to make sure those items are in line. So as we move through design, we're reaching out to the local contractors that will be bidding and building the actual facility to get their input. So these are not just numbers that we're pulling out of the sky. They're market input from the local trades that would be building this. Another note is that the site is not yet acquired, and so we are making assumptions on the site. That is not defined yet. A few other notes: that price includes escalation. So as we all know, prices are rising, so we add escalation contingency onto that price, which covers the delta between now and when we would bid the project out to the market. Program contingency is also on there at 5%. And again, 8% and 5% seem like small numbers, but those added up are, that's a $6 million number. So program contingency covers any added program during the design process. So if nothing is added, that number actually goes away. So, the actual cost would go down if we don't add things, but we keep that buffer on there again as a buffer. We covered what 400 core means, 294 beds. We have a breakout of what that is. That's 4 55-bed units and then the one 31-bed unit. It also has 8 segregation areas and a 35 female dorm. I think that pretty much covers it. Are there, so the next steps would be to formally go into schematic design. Again, this price was based off of 2 drawings. And if you're familiar with the construction drawing set, the final set will be about 300. So we're painting with broad strokes here, but.
Madam Chair, can I ask?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
First of all, let me say this. I've heard really good comments about you all helping us with the jail here too, as far as that's concerned, and how much you're doing as far as what we needed done to repair what we got to keep the 90-some people we can keep here. But also too, I think that y'all are the biggest detention center builders in North Carolina. And I also had the chance and opportunity to go visit the detention center in Granville County. I think you built that one too. And you're also building the one in Halifax County.
Yes, sir.
So we want to learn off all those places so you can save us as much money as you possibly can.
And I'll say we're not the biggest, but we build a lot of detention facilities. We're a local company, and we pride ourselves in our knowledge for detention facilities.
I've heard really good comments about you, and I think our county manager has talked to me about it too, and very pleased with what you're doing, and very pleased with what you're trying to do. But obviously, when the state requires more, there's not a lot of things we can do.
Yes, sir.
As far as that's concerned, so just try to look out for us the best you can.
Yes, sir. We look for every opportunity along the way to reduce the costs. The whole process is open book, so it's a public bid. You see the bid results. We try to get as local as we can for our labor, bidding out electricians and HVAC companies. So we're a community builder.
Thank you.
Is that design similar to the Granville County? So you've got open frames?
Right, yeah. So
expansion
we,
building.
early on in the design, we worked with the county, and you guys had told us that you liked Granville, you liked the radial layout. So we based the original concept design off of Granville County. It's also the same design that we're doing in Halifax and that we're doing in Duplin. We call it a radial layout. It reduces this need for a lot of staff. So essentially, you can monitor all those housing units with one guard if you wanted to. But obviously there'll be a few more, but that design really reduces the intensity that you have to have all the employees. And there's a whole laundry list of efficiencies that we employ in these jails now. So
how many beds is the Halifax?
Halifax is going to be 218.
218?
Yes.
What is it costing them?
Right now, Halifax we haven't bid it out yet. We're at CD. We priced the CD set, and it's at $60 million.
For 218 beds?
Yes, sir.
Any more questions?
Just to follow up, how many beds is it in Granville County?
Going to be, I think it's in the 190s.
Are they to capacity? Are they
Ma'am.
filling those 100 beds?
Sorry.
Granville, are they
It's
filling those beds?
296.
Oh, Granville is, yes, full. Yeah.
280. 296, right?
296 for
294.
294. Okay, 294. So, and I just need consensus to move forward with continue to have conversations with USDA for the increased amount, because when we first went to USDA, we didn't think it was going to be any more than 55 million, but now we're at 71.2. So I just need consensus to move forward with having those conversations with USDA for funding. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
We've come too far to turn
Thank
around,
you.
right?
So what? Yeah, move forward.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Next on appointment is Jennifer Williams, Tax Office, Board of ER and Recommendation Resolution.
Good evening. Tonight, I am presenting a proposed resolution related to the Board of Equalization and Review, as well as an overview of the proposed recruitment and readiness process for future BER members. The purpose of this effort is to ensure that Vance County has knowledgeable and prepared Board of Equalization and Review in place well in advance of the next countywide revaluation. As the board knows, Vance County recently moved from an 8-year revaluation cycle to a 6-year revaluation cycle, with the next scheduled revaluation occurring in 2030. The Board of Equalization and Review plays an important role in that process. The BER hears appeals from taxpayers regarding property values and ensures that assessments are fair, equitable, and consistent. Because those responsibilities involve statutory requirements, valuation principles, and quasi-judicial decision-making, it is important that members receive orientation and training prior to a revaluation year, excuse me, rather than attempting to establish and prepare a board at the last minute. The intent of this proposal is to begin identifying and recruiting interested individuals early, provide orientation regarding the role and responsibilities of the BER, allow members opportunities for continued education and exposure to the appeals process over time, and ensure the county is better positioned operationally ahead of the 2030 revaluation cycle. This is not intended to create unnecessary meetings or obligations years in advance. Rather, it is intended to build continuity, readiness, and institutional knowledge, excuse me, before a revaluation year arrives. The proposed timeline includes initial recruitment and identification of interested members, orientation and training activities beginning early in the process, and continuing readiness activities leading to the 2030 revaluation. Ultimately, this approach is intended to support both the Board of County Commissioners and the public by ensuring that the BER members are informed, prepared, and familiar with their responsibilities before the hearing appeals. At this time, I would respectfully request that the board consideration of the proposed resolution and authorization to move forward with the recruitment and readiness process as outlined.
Action to approve for the recommendation of resolution to move forward.
Make a motion that we move forward with the resolution.
Second.
We got a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next appointment is Fernandez Ross, Director of Economic Development. American 250 update. You had a question? Did you have a question? I'm sorry.
I wanted to make a recommendation. During our last phase of ENR, a lot of our taxpayers were very much surprised at how they could basically present evidence to contest the current appraisals. And I think it may be beneficial. It may be beneficial to our citizens if there was some meetings whereby the public can come together and be given information about how they can effectively challenge the ENR appraisals. So rather than coming and appearing at the hearing and then finding out right then you need an appraisal, they find out the different alternatives they have prior to having to appear before the ENR. I think it'd be nice if we have some kind of meetings whereby the public can be better informed than they were during the last 8-year cycle.
Madam Commissioner, I'd like to add, this year, I am told, and I'm anxious to see how these go this evening, but I am told that they had multiples more appeals and that the meetings that we understood were happening before actually happened. And that process has resulted in more of a typical number of cases coming before you guys this evening than what has in the past 2 years. So I'm not saying that that isn't necessary. What I'm saying is that the interaction between the taxpayers and the tax office individuals has happened this year. And as a direct result of that, we only have 3 cases before you all this evening.
So what you're saying, they're getting the information they need to get it.
There is a meeting and a discussion and exchange of information.
I will say, I noticed those in the consent agenda tonight, they reflected the change and did not reflect what the original value was. And so I think I've emailed you earlier in the day and requested that information. We do have them. It's where? I have a document. Okay. All right.
All right.
Did you get your answer, Commissioner?
Well, I know, during our 8-year cycle, Granville County also had a, revive going on as well, and they did have meetings whereby the public could come in and they were given information, they was allowed to ask questions, and I think it was very helpful for their citizens to be able to do that rather than waiting and told that you can get an appraisal at the actual ENR meeting whereby if they knew beforehand, maybe they could have gotten their money together to go ahead and get that appraisal done. If they knew that was one of the options that they had to support their case. And I just want, instead of it happening again like it happened last year, I just want our citizens to have all of the necessary information that they need, and I don't want us to wait, until the very end and telling someone, well, you can get an appraisal or you can, find out different particular information that shows the valuation, whereby if they knew beforehand, maybe they could have gotten that information rather than it happening at the ENR meetings. So I was just like, for us to maybe have more forums whereby we can educate the public on what they would need as they prepare to come before the ENR.
Okay, so your recommendation is around the 2030 revaluation for us to educate more, the tax office to educate more. And okay, we can do that. Yes, ma'am.
And I think it is a good idea that the people are having one-on-one meetings now with the staff at our tax office. But I would just like to see a wider forum, where other people can participate rather than that particular taxpayer questioning about their particular piece of property. Whereby the population in general can come and just hear as a whole, different options that they have.
Thank you, Commissioner.
All right. Greetings, commissioners. Ferdinand Rouse here from Economic Development. I'm here to give you all an update on the America 250 Vance County commemoration that we've been working on. And so just to give you a little background on America 250, it's commemorating the 250 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And as part of that, we're working with multiple departments within the communities, working with tourism, the chamber, along with our Parks and Rec and the Cooperative Extension to run events throughout the year and to showcase Vance County for a number of audiences. And we're also partnering with Vance Granville Community College as well. And just to let you know who's on that committee, the chair is Mrs. Barbara Harrison. She's here tonight, along with Tim Blackburn, Angie Ryan, who's also here tonight, and then Dr. Tim Hall, Patty McNally with the library, Dr. Jerry Edmonds with Vance Granville, and then myself, and then Kendrick Van with the City of Henderson. So what we've done so far is we've had 4 events. The first one that kind of kicked things off was the community band concert that was held at Vance Granville Community College. Their band came out and performed some tunes from the early periods of the United States. Then we continued with the agriculture and for the Revolutionary War, games through the ages, and then a cultural tasting test. And then upcoming, we have a number of events, with the large events being the Independence Day fireworks. That's the tourism does, and that's going to be on July 3rd. And so this is just the image of the agriculture and the Revolutionary War event that was a part of America 250. And so for the summer, some of our larger events, we're going to be partnering with Parks and Rec to do Juneteenth celebration along with Tourism for Independence Day. And then we're also going to be working with Parks and Rec again for this Black Perspectives and the Western themed events. One of the big projects that we've had the pleasure to work with is the banners installation. So I imagine you all have seen the banners on Garnet Street that are commemorating those who served throughout some of our world wars and in the wars that kind of defined the United States. And so we've been able to display those banners. This has been a big endeavor that's been done by multiple folks, but for us on our board, Mr. Tim Blackburn has been really the one spearheading that initiative, and it's been a great success. So right now, you can look at all those banners. They have a QR code at the bottom that you can scan. It'll take you to a library website, and you can find out information about those who served and those how they served, where they served at, and what their connection is to Vance County. So in the fall, we have events with McGregor Hall. We've got a Labor Day event, as well as a larger event that's going on September 11th with the Chamber of Commerce, which is an evening beneath the stars. And so along with that, we're doing social media outreach. We're making sure that all our events are posted to the state's website that commemorates America 250, and making sure that we're using the Daily Dispatch, WIZS, and also all our local folks as well to kind of get the word out. Financial things that we've done. So we did receive a grant from the state for $10,000 to do these events. And so of that, we've spent $2,500 or so is going to get the promotional materials so that we can pass those out to people who come to our events so they can have a piece of this America 250 celebration. They can have something that they can commemorate this event and move forward with it. And along with that, we're going to continue to promote and think of other ways that we can make sure that everybody can celebrate America 250 and feels involved. And so this is looking ahead. So the big events that are happening in the summer, kind of the headline event, which is the Independence Day, and then the programming that we'll be doing later on. And that's it for me. Are there any questions?
The banners that are fine, they're veterans from all service and everything? Are they?
Yes, sir.
In combat, or they?
Yeah, so there's they've died in combat, and then there's those are the ones we have that that died in combat. Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. We'll be continuing to hold events, but if you all have any other questions, please feel free to contact me or Ms. Barbara Harrison or anybody else. And Barbara, you have anything you'd like to say?
No, I'm very proud. You're doing a great job.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right now, I'm going to open up the Board of Equalization and Review. First is Floyd Yancey, 100S Heartland Lane, Henderson, North Carolina, parcel 0384010056.
I do not see Mr. Yancey here. I'm Erin McGee. I am your new deputy tax assessor. I spoke with Mr. Yancey. She's going to leave me. I spoke with Mr. Yancey several times. I would like to say before we get started on Mr. Yancey, I have talked to every appellant on your list. Multiple conversations, almost got on their nerves, to be honest with you. Even after we had the disagrees, I went back to them, what evidence do you have? Because I didn't want to waste the board's time and then have to go back and crunch numbers and continue it. The job that I do does matter to me. I'm all for having public meetings and letting the community know what they need to bring beforehand. Pictures, appraisals, comparable sales, all those things matter when you're appealing. We can only see from the outside. We can't see what the inside of your house looks like. So when you're appealing, I don't know if your ceiling's falling in. I don't know those things. I see you put a new roof on, but have you fixed the inside yet? So those things matter. And with Mr. Yancey, I don't see him. No, he's not here tonight. I called him several times after he disagreed. I never got in touch with him. His girlfriend ended up returning my phone call. She said she had pictures. I waited and waited on them. And after I sent your packet Friday to Ms. Petaway, then she sent me pictures. So I did decrease their value based off the pictures. I have copies of the pictures if y'all would like to look at them. Okay. She sent 4 pictures. The first one, it appears he got a new wood burning stove. When I talked to her on the phone, she said the outside walls are exposed. I didn't know what she meant by that. I asked her for more clarification on it. She couldn't really explain what was going on. I asked her to take pictures of what was going on inside the home. It appears he removed the drywall or the paneling in the home. There is no damage done to it. He installed a new wood burning fireplace in there. And the next picture is just another picture of that. And then you have a picture of a hole in the ceiling that has mudding and taping on it. It appears that he's in the middle of fixing that. And then your last picture, it looks like it's a wall in the ceiling, but it's not. It's actually a double wide, and it has where a double wide meets in the middle. One side he has replaced. It looks like he's getting ready to start on the other side. Mr. Yancey believes his value should be $19,000. That is impossible. His land is worth more than that. He was severely undervalued in the last reevaluation. I let him know that. He does receive the disabled exclusion. So he does receive a discount. So in the past, if your value is under $25,000, you only pay the solid waste fee. So he was only paying the solid waste fee. He wants his taxes to only be $120 even this year. I explained to him that that's just not how it works. Even the solid waste fee has went up. So that's what I had on him. I called.
Can I?
Of
can I
course.
ask a
Yeah,
question?
go ahead.
Mhm.
I'm trying to figure out where we're going with this.
He's not
And I'm
here.
trying to
Mhm.
figure out what y'all's recommendation
Oh,
is.
sure, I
So
can get-
on this first case, Mr. Yancey, what is the tax office's recommendation?
My new recommended value is $125,910. I just wanted to do him justification. I know he is disabled, and I didn't want to not tell you why or what was going on with the
So
property.
in essence, if I'm asking on this particular case, you're asking us to approve the appraised value that you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Is that?
The new value, you don't
to
have
take
that
them
value in your packet.
individually?
I'm sorry, sir.
Do you want to take these cases individually?
Just these 3 cases. Your others are on the consent agenda.
So do you want to do this case to start with? Is that what you're
Yes,
asking?
sir. If that it was the pleasure of the board. It's not mine.
125 what?
125 what?
125,910.
I'll make that motion that we approve it.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a motion, second, in discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
I'm just trying to get it down to the facts. of what
That's
we're
fine.
talking
He's not here. I knew he was disabled. I didn't want to do him
but I'm going-
justification.
about.
Yes,
I
sir.
agree with you.
Yes, sir.
The next is Clinton Hightower.
Same situation. Mr. Hightower gave me pictures after the fact. His roof was leaking. He is not here because he has agreed on the new value. I have his signature on one. His new value is $138,333.
So he's straight.
He has agreed to the new value. Mhm.
So
Yeah.
is your
My recommendation is $138,333.
and did he have an appraisal done?
No, he had pictures. Mhm.
Did anybody have a certified appraisal done?
Yes, your third one.
But on this one, they didn't have an appraisal done.
No, sir, he did not.
And your recommendation is what?
$138,333.
He agreed to that.
And he agreed
Should
to
we
it.
approve it?
Second.
Got a motion, and second, in discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay. All right.
Next one is, I'm sorry, Jeremy Robertson.
Jeremy Robinson is also not here. I believe y'all received a packet late in the day. He was in the emergency room this morning. It's not so much his value this year. He wants to appeal his 2024 value. We don't have jurisdiction to do that, and we cannot approve something like that. It would be an illegal refund, in fact, if we did that. He did not appeal or even bring up his property until January 15th of 2025. So I did correct his issues that he had. We went back. He only wanted me to correct his sketch from 24. I went back to 5 years that the general statute gives me jurisdiction to do. So he still wants to appeal 2024. And we just can't do that. So we just need the board to vote on that.
Go ahead, Jonathan. I
That,
want to
that is correct. We cannot go back for a year that was not appealed in the year in which they appealed it.
Okay. So do we need a recommendation to do what?
Motion to do, no.
Maintain the value.
In this situation, I believe because he's attempting to appeal 2024, I think that the thing to do is to deny any requests prior to 2025 when he first submitted his first appeal, and then maintain the values as agreed upon for the times thereafter.
That value is 204,694.
Yes, sir, it is.
Are you making that motion, Dan?
Yes, I made a motion that we deny any appeal prior to 2025, and the new value is 204,694.
Second.
Got a motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Now I'm gonna open up the Water District Board. I'm sorry.
Maintain
Close it.
that open,
No, we gotta close it.
or does that close now?
I gotta close it.
We can close that now or at the end of the meeting.
Close it now.
Now.
Yeah. I'm gonna close the Board of Equalization Review Board, and I'm gonna open the Water District Board monthly operation report.
Any commissioners have any questions about the monthly operations report? Okay.
Water Board closed. Now we're gonna have our Finance Director report, County Fiscal year-end closeout authorization. Ms. Williams.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
So in order to finalize the county's fiscal year 25-26 books and conduct appropriate closeout transaction, it is necessary to obtain board approval for the required budget action. So I have a recommendation to authorize the staff to perform the necessary fiscal year 24-25 year-end budgeting and accounting transactions.
Is that the transactions that are in the consent agenda?
No,
Okay.
no.
I move that we authorize staff to perform necessary 25-26 year-end budgeting and accounting transactions.
Second.
Got a motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. So Chapter 159 of North Carolina General Statutes requires the county to appoint a finance officer, but does not mandate the appointment of a deputy finance officer. Although not required by statute, having a formally appointed deputy finance officer is considered best practice across North Carolina counties and will support effective financial stewardship and daily operational efficiencies. This request is also highly recommended by the LGC since we're still on the unit assistant list. So I have a recommendation to appoint Tamara Martin as the deputy finance officer.
Is that, I'm trying to get, are you looking at having a deputy finance?
Yes, yes,
And that recommendation comes from who? From you?
yes. And it's just for signature purposes only.
A
Yes,
motion to
signature
approve
authority.
it.
Second.
Got a motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is our Assistant County Manager report.
Good evening, Commissioners. I have 3 different reports to give tonight. The first one is a fireworks permit, City of Henderson. The City of Henderson is requesting approval for a fireworks permit for a fireworks display at Fox Pond Park on Saturday, June 13th. The display will be contracted with the professional pyrotechnic firm NC Fireworks LLC, which has the appropriate credentials and insurance coverage. The county fire marshal has approved the permit subject to board approval. The recommendation is to approve the request from the City of Henderson and NC Fireworks LLC for a permit to discharge fireworks at Fox Pond Park on Saturday, June 13th, 2026.
They've done this before, hadn't they?
Yes.
in the past, and everything worked out perfectly, right?
Yes, sir.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion, a second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
The next is the National End Gun Violence Awareness Day proclamation. In 2026, National Gun Violence Awareness Day is June 5th, the first Friday of the month. The day marks the start of Wear Orange Weekend, which takes place on June 6th and 7th. Wear Orange is a campaign to raise awareness about gun violence and demand change. The recommendation is to approve the proclamation recognizing National End Gun Violence Awareness Day and proclaim June 6, 2026 to Wear Orange Day in Vance County.
I make that motion.
Got a motion, a second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
My last report is the Veteran Memorial Permit fee waiver. Commissioner Brummett is requesting waiver of Vance County permit fees associated with the City of Henderson Veterans Memorial Project in recognition of the public benefit the project will provide by honoring local veterans and their service to the nation. The recommendation is to approve the waiver of fees for the Veteran Memorial Project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion, a second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is our county manager report.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. So the first item on my report is the fiscal year 26-27 budget ordinance. The recommended budget was presented to the Board of County Commissioners at the May 4th, 2026 meeting, and the budget work session held was on May 12th, 2026. A recap of the budget work session is in my county manager's report. The general fund budget is recommended at $72,471,258 with $7,066,590 appropriated from fund balance to balance the budget. The increased use of fund balance compared to prior years is intended to establish several capital reserve accounts and special reserve accounts that will support major capital projects, including $3.4 million for the detention center capital reserve, $330,000 for the revaluation catch-up fund, $375,000 for the city county communications tower, $309,500 for the senior center sprinkler project, and $783,500 for other fiscal year 25 capital county projects. The board provided the public with an opportunity to provide input on the proposed budget during the January 2026 meeting, and it's also satisfied the statutory public hearing requirement at the June 1st, 2026 meeting. Based on the board's direction and guidance, staff has prepared the fiscal year 26-27 budget ordinance and the 26-27 water budget ordinance for consideration and approval. The recommendation is to approve the fiscal year 26-27 budget ordinance updated salary schedule as recommended by Piedmont Triad Regional Council, or provide additional budget guidance to staff after tonight. And also in a separate motion, we will need approval of the 26-27 water budget ordinance, and in another motion, approve the project ordinance for 26-27. So I need three different motions
Three.
if you all have a desire to move forward.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
can I make a few comments?
Yes.
I want to say that I have looked at this and talked to our county manager, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. She's done an outstanding job with the limited funds that she's had, and she's worked tirelessly to make these things happen and to move our county forward. I just wish it was ways we could make things easier for her, but it's not, and we are a tier 1 county, and it makes it tough for this county to move forward. And I think she's done an outstanding job as far as this budget is concerned, and I want to make a recommendation that we accept this budget.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a motion, a second, any discussion?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, if you'd like.
I love the budget, it's good, but I am concerned about.
I'm sorry, we can't hear you, ma'am.
Take the mask off.
No, I want to take it off, I'm good. Y'all hear me now? Yes. All right, that's why, I'm sorry. I have a concern about what they were talking about. Our investment in our children, that's the focus. And I'll always feel that way. We see the jail being built, we see social services, but guess what? No education. We're gonna need a bigger jail. It's gonna be more people at social services. But that's my thought. I'm good.
Madam Chair, the manager just mentioned the 3.4 million down that list there. There's an additional I believe, $86 million that's not included in that. Could you tell us what that
One
is?
point, where you see that at, Commissioner Brummett?
Well,
Where are you
you
looking
said
at?
it was $7,066,000, and when you run those numbers together,
Oh, I didn't list everything on there. So there's other capital projects like for the school system and things like that in the annual. Oh, I don't know. What else was it, Stephanie? Because I didn't list everything that totaled up to the 7.06. Oh, you mean to close the fund balance? You mean, is that what you're saying? The fund balance?
Right.
Those are just the capital reserve accounts. But remember, normally the county uses at least 1.8 to $2.5 million just to close the gap every year anyway. It's only been 1 year that we have not used fund balance since I've been here, and that was 24-25 when we did the 10-cent tax increase.
now, in this current fiscal year, I think our fund balance was 31.6 million.
That's right. Yes, sir.
And you're projecting it to be at 23 million
Mhm.
at year-end closeout.
Yes,
this
that's
year.
right. Mhm.
So we've used a considerable amount of our fund balance.
That's right. But most of it, the majority is for the capital reserve. Yes, sir.
And we're doing another 7,066 from fund balance this coming year, which will bring our fund balance down to somewhere around 22%, which means the following year, there'll either have to be a tremendous amount of cut in spending, or there will have to be a tremendous tax increase.
Or economic development, which would help us help our tax base. Third
And
option.
I know we talk about the data center and all those things bringing in monies, but those won't happen for 5 years.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, sir.
So we've got to look at some way to sustain our budget in the meantime. And we've got to do that by reducing spending. And I think this budget, there's too much money spent. Our fire department, the Golden Belt Fire Department has gone from 1.3 million to, I believe, 2.3 this year. Is that right? Over the last 2 years?
I'm not sure. I would have to pull the numbers. I don't know off the top of my head.
And that's just for one fire district. So, I mean, so while we're putting all those funds into that fire department, the rest of our citizens are not benefiting.
Madam Chair, can we go ahead and
There
vote
was a
on this?
request, excuse me.
It's a motion and second on the floor. Can we?
I'm still
vote on
speaking,
this,
Madam
please?
Chair.
Madam Chair.
You got a motion and a second?
Madam Chair, I'm still speaking.
Well, we don't. Yes, you are still speaking.
Okay. I'm appalled at that disruption. That is absolutely unacceptable.
Dan, let me know when you're finished so we can move ahead.
You can leave anytime you want.
Oh, I'm not leaving, Dan. I'm here.
So what I'm saying is, with the amount of spending we're doing, you're putting us in a bad position. It puts us in a position that we're going to have to do something different with our taxes. And that's not good. We're already seeing people with too much taxes. We're seeing people struggling to pay their tax bills. And so we've got to figure some way to lower the cost of government. And for that reason, I will not be voting for this budget this year.
We got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
So we got a,
Madam Chair, I believe we need to open back up the water board
okay.
and vote on that budget as the water board.
So we'll do that separate. Well, we're actually doing the, our budget now, but after this.
After
Yes,
this,
ma'am.
yeah.
Mhm.
So what was the vote?
Was it 5-2? 5-2.
Okay, thank you.
And so also let's go ahead and approve the project ordinance as well, which is inside the budget, it's outside of the
That's
water.
side, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So we need a motion.
Need a motion for it to approve the project ordinance, which is inside the budget.
I'll make
Yes.
that motion.
Thank you.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
5-2.
Mhm.
And now we need to open the water board back. Back up the water board for.
Just approval of the 26-27 water budget ordinance. Yes, ma'am.
Come on, y'all, we need a motion and a second for the 26-27 water budget ordinance.
I make a motion that we approve the water board ordinance.
Second.
Got a motion and second, any discussion?
Yes, ma'am. There's still, I believe, I was sent some information today that for about a year and a half now, we've been trying to figure out the difference in what the county had appropriated to the water fund. And I believe the resolution that was passed in 2018 reflected about 1.38 million, something like that. And the accounting that we have shows through 2018 about 2.1 million. That's about a $744,000 discrepancy. We need to get that resolved. And that's a huge amount of money that's been missing since 2018. So I just, again, that's something that needs to be dealt with. And
How much you said, Dan? How much?
it's $744,000 difference in what our accounting says and what the ordinance from 2018 said.
Maybe we stolen it with that.
So that's something that needs to be attended. And in doing that, it gives me hesitation to approve a budget when I know we've got that large of a discrepancy.
So we just realizing the discrepancy this year?
No, ma'am,
Since it's
this
been
thing I
since
brought up
2018?
Last year in the audit committee,
Oh, okay.
and it was not dealt with then.
Because we've had it since 2018, you said.
Well, the difference was when the new staff came in, they were not aware of the resolution that was passed in 2018. And so that occurring, I believe the interim finance director did some calculations and came up with a number. But that number is in difference to what number was in the resolution that was passed in 2018.
So what Commissioner Brummett is referencing is the money that the county has loaned to the water system to support the water system. And so the calculation from 2018, I believe it was $1.3 million that was loaned to the water system. But Chuck Murray, who was interim finance director before Miss Stephanie came, ran some very rough numbers that no one went and checked behind him to see what the numbers were. And so there's money not missing. We just need to account for money that has been loaned to the water system to support the water system. So the word missing would not be correct, but we'll make sure we do some research on our end.
I guess I'm concerned because of some of the activities that occurred at that time, during that time period.
Madam Chair, can I ask?
Yes.
So in essence, we're going back to 2018. I'm not sure I remember a lot that happened in 2018. It's been such a long time. Maybe what we need to do is some kind of written ups can be done for this so that we can all remember and understand what we did back in 2018 and move forward with what we're doing, because obviously we've been moving forward every year since 2018.
I would agree. And the county has been loaning money to the water system since 2018.
Is that
Yes, sir.
possible to do that?
Yes, sir.
And we move
Absolutely.
forward with this?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Madam Chair?
Yes. So we got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
5-2.
Then you gotta close the water board, close your water district board. Yes, ma'am.
Water board closed.
So the next thing on my report is schedule your UDO work sessions. So Planning Director Sherry Moss has proposed the below dates for your UDO work sessions. And I would actually recommend that we start in July, only because you all are just finishing up budget. So if you could disregard those first 3 dates, if we could start with either July 6th or July 9th, and Ms. Moss is going to get me some more dates for August and September, and I'll get with you all at that point.
So you want us to look at those two for now?
Yeah, let's
6th?
just do one, either the 6th or the 9th to start.
You want, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
What's this 6 on? That's on the what?
Let's see.
What holiday?
Holidays. Isn't July 4th on?
The holiday would be that Friday, I believe. We're off the 3rd. Yeah, we're off on the 3rd. Yeah. The 6th would be a Monday. So if y'all want to start with that, we can at 4 p.m. that day. Or if you want.
Already had the board meeting?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm looking at my calendar.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So no, it wouldn't be the 6th. So the 9th. You're right.
so the ninth would be,
It will be a Thursday.
Yeah, July, fine with me.
Y'all want to do the 9th at 4:00? Is that okay? Okay, all right. Let's just schedule the first one for now. Let's do that.
You know, I'm
This
out of
town
work if
hall
you want
meeting.
early. Oh,
Oh.
she work.
Okay, all right. July 9th at 4 p.m.
Yes.
Your first UDO works. Do y'all want that to be joint with the planning board, or you want it to just be Board of County Commissioners?
Which one you think is best?
I recommend at least one or two sessions with the planning board. So if Sherry can arrange that to happen, the 9th would be good with the planning board. Okay. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Okay. All right, July 9th.
July 9th, we're doing what? Now make sure I understand.
We're doing your work session for your Unified Development Ordinance,
Okay.
hopefully with the planning board. Mm. And we'll just start there and we'll get more dates scheduled.
Okay. Yes.
You ready for item C? Okay. So schedule town hall meetings. So following July 1st, 2026, we will begin implementing community and town hall meetings identified as a goal by the Board of County Commissioners for fiscal year 26-27. Each commissioner would serve as the host for meetings within their respective district, with county staff attending in support and assisting with addressing questions and concerns specific to the district. And so I would recommend the following schedule. And you all let me know what your thoughts are on this schedule and what you want me to possibly move around. Yes, ma'am. You don't want to be
Remember
first?
the email, I don't want to be first.
Okay.
I don't want to be.
So you don't want to do July or August?
No, I don't want to be first. I
Okay.
need to
What
see.
district you is?
District 3.
I can swap with you if you want.
It don't matter. I just don't want to be first.
You want to be second?
Not really.
No? Okay. I'm just looking for some. And if we just want to start with one and then schedule other ones later, that's fine. Y'all just let me know what y'all want to do. I just want to go ahead and get it started, getting it scheduled, because that's one of your goals for next year.
So we just got, how many you got scheduled so far? 1, 2,
3.
3?
4 schedule. Well,
I don't have it. Yeah, I don't have any schedule. These are just recommendations.
Okay.
Yeah, these are just recommendations.
We'll just start with who first? You said,
Yeah, I'll, if Ms. Perry, if Commissioner Perry doesn't want to go first, I'll do that. I don't care.
And what district are you, Dan?
District 4,
4. So you want to do July, August?
that's fine.
Okay, all right. And so do you have well, I'll get with you on a location. Okay. Anybody want to go ahead and just do 2? Ms. Faines, you want to do 2? You want to? Okay,
August, September.
okay, I got you. All right. So you say you're District 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, all right. So y'all just want to start with those 2?
yeah, that's
Okay, I got you. All right. Okay, and the next item on my report is the joint city and county agreement. Of course, Vance County and the city of Henderson are proposing a interlocal agreement to create a centralized one-stop location for planning, inspections, code enforcement, and fire marshal services at the county-owned facility located at 305 Young Street in Henderson. The agreement will consolidate multiple county and city departments into a shared public-facing office space to improve coordination, efficiency, and customer service for residents and developers. Under the proposal, the county would provide office space and internet services at no cost for a 10-year period, while the city would fund parking and site improvements needed to support the consolidated operations. The city and the county would share utility costs proportionally based on occupied square footage and cooperate on compatible technology and communication systems. The agreement also outlines operational responsibilities, liability protections, dispute resolution procedures, and default provisions to govern the long-term partnership between the 2 local governments. The recommendation is to authorize county staff and the county attorney to finalize and execute the agreement with city staff and the city attorney. The language of the final agreement may vary slightly from the attached proposal, but will remain substantially the same. Commissioners will receive a copy of the fully executed agreement upon completion.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I think I went by there today looking, and I think they've already started to moving forward with the things down there right now, aren't they?
That is correct. The city has already begun their portion of this. They're spending close to $37,000 on the parking lot refurbishment and all of the tree removal. So they've already started and should have that finished within the next week. And then they have some fencing and landscaping to do.
I'll make a motion, we approve it and move forward with the project, and I think it's outstanding that the city and county is working together.
Yeah.
Second.
Got a motion and second, any discussion?
Yes, ma'am. I think we approved a budget amendment for $110,000 when we were looking at doing the building right next door to here. Is that correct?
I don't think we ever brought, no, we didn't.
Close to $250,000.
There was $110,000
That is for
budget
this.
amendment for,
Oh, it's for the current, okay.
what?
This renovation over at 305, that was budgeted $110,000.
Okay.
Okay, so that's for this renovation.
Yes, that's correct. And we should have the bids in by the end of the week, we are promised.
Okay. All right. And then I think there was, I believe, a phrase in that, in the legal resolution or whatever, the agreement that referenced 10, but I think the word days was missing in that. If we can correct that.
So, where we at now? Still with the joint city? So we got
the motion.
You just need the recommendation to, yeah,
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. And so the last thing on my report is just a new position request for a social work program administrator 1. County Administration, Human Resources, and the DSS Board are jointly recommending the creation of a new management position to oversee adult services in light of the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services assuming control of Vance County Child Welfare Services pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 108A-74 in May of 2025, and the expectation that DHHS will eventually transition operations back to the county. All parties agree that child welfare should operate as a standalone division with dedicated leadership and oversight. Separating child welfare from adult services will allow for increased operational focus, improved compliance and accountability, stronger supervision, and better alignment with state expectations and best practices. The proposed structure would also allow adult services to maintain focused leadership while positioning the agency for long-term organizational stability and improved service delivery. The total cost of the new position will range from $98,516 to $124,092. This reflects a higher range from minimum to midpoint, as well as fringe benefits, FICA, retirement, group insurance, and 401k match. The recommendation is to approve the creation of the new position for budget year 26-27, and Stephanie will bring the budget amendment back to you at the July meeting for approval if needed. We may be able to make it work within the current salary structure. But we do need approval for a new position.
Motion to approve.
You got a motion?
Did you get a second?
No.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. That concludes your report.
Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry.
Next is our consent agenda item.
Madam Chair, I'd like to pull the budget amendments.
And Stephanie had one addition before Commissioner Brummett finishes, that she put in everybody's place. I believe you got it? Yes, it's for senior center trips and special events, $30,000. So that should have been included in your consent agenda.
Okay.
just wanted some explanation. On
Okay.
Budget Amendment 37, it's got a part 1 and a part 2. I'm not used to seeing that.
Yes, yes. So it's stemming from Budget Amendment 3. That was like during the audit when we were had a budget amendment to set money aside for the tile projects, substation, jail rental, and jail new construction. And then after the audit, when he was going through the audit, and this was done prior to the completion of the audit, he said that every project has to have its own separate fund.
The one we did on August 4th, it just reflected a fund transfer from the general fund, and then it said capital projects.
Yeah, so but it was
Okay.
still all in 61, but they can't stay in 61, it gotta be its own.
Okay, but didn't we do a correction on that later?
So I do not have a correction on that one. Yeah.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
thinking I saw something
Yeah.
when I was reading through the budget.
Yeah.
But okay.
So the first part is to move them out of 61 to establish its own separate fund. And then, so that's one transfer. And then the next fund is to budget for those particular funds, the revenue and the expenditures. And then the other thing we have to do, then we have to move the expenditures, but we'll be able to do that.
Okay, so then as part of year-end closeouts now, we'll move those to the next budget year, is that correct?
Yeah, no, we could just, once we establish the budget, we can move the expenses.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But this is just making sure we establish the budget.
Okay. I guess that's the same thing for Budget Amendment 39?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Well, there was one more that was somewhere. Okay, on Budget Amendment 43, it's for $1,100, but the expenditure, the second amount, it looks like a typo. It says $8,003.
It is. It should be $1,100 all through.
Okay.
I need to correct that. Yes. Yeah, each one should be $1,100.
Okay. That's all I have, Madam Chair.
Okay. Did we get a motion in a second?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Got a motion in a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is our miscellaneous, Ms. Pettaway.
Good evening. We have for you to consider 3 appointments this evening. The Henderson Vance Recreation Commission to reappoint Donna Stearns and George Watkins. The Economic Development Commission, to appoint Michelle Burgess. Her application was attached to your packet. And the Social Service Board to either reappoint Dan Brummett or to appoint Leo Kelly, whose application was also attached to your packet.
Do you want to take each of those
Except-
individually,
yeah.
how you want to do it?
Separate, please.
Madam Chair.
Separate.
Yes, sir, the Henderson Vance Recreation Commission
But those two are the same word that were on
to
there.
reappoint Donna Stearns and George Watkins.
I'll make the motion.
Got a motion in a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
The second is the Economic Development Commission to appoint Michelle Burgess, whose application was attached.
Make that motion.
Got a motion and a
second.
second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
And the final is the Social Service Board is either to reappoint Dan Brummett or to appoint Leo Kelly, whose application was also attached.
I make a motion to appoint Leo Kelly.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
1. 6-1. Next is our voting.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make a motion.
Huh? You make a motion, okay. I thought you gonna make a motion?
Yeah.
And the last thing, board,
Man, she says,
I know, for your voting, your NACO
no, she wanna
conference.
she wanna go back to make a motion. What are you at?
Yeah,
Motion?
most already been made for Leo and second.
And we already voted. Yeah,
I thought you were saying
we already voted.
6-1. And the final is for your upcoming NACO conference. We need a voting delegate for you to choose a voting delegate.
Yes, myself and me, Yolanda, and Teresa. Do you want Yolanda or you want yours? Do you want voting delegate for the we go?
It doesn't matter.
Do you want you or Sharice for the voting delegate?
You're not a new.
I'm gonna be there, but I don't want to be the voting delegate.
I've been a voting delegate before, so she can have a chance to do it.
Okay, Sharice.
So who's the voting delegate?
Sharice.
Okay.
So can we get a motion to go in closed session?
Let's go in closed session, discuss a personnel issue.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to go in closed session.